dedicated to the grind and dedicated to you. That's why we do what we do. This is Power Grind Boxing, courtesy of Power Grind Sports. Errol Spence Jr., the unified welterweight champion at 147, has officially raised concerns about how boxing sanctioning bodies utilize the fees that they collect from the fighter purses. Now, during that press conference with Terrence Crawford, that upcoming fight, yeah, that's right, July 29th, 2023, the biggest at 147. I'm just saying, this is just crazy right there. The super fight, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr. is really going down. T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. You better be there or get the pay-per-view. Do not stream this fight just by the pay-per-view. You got what I'm saying? Because this is going to determine the undisputed welterweight champion. And during this press conference, right? I think it was the second press conference. No, maybe in the first press conference. But anyway, look for it. Errol Spence Jr. questioned where the money goes. Oh, man. I'm just saying. He questioned the sanctioning bodies and the fees that they tack on to these fighters. He was questioning where the money goes. And he also asked, how does it benefit the fighters? Now, in response to Errol Spence Jr. comments, and first off, before I talk about what Mauricio Sulaiman said, because he's the head of the WBC. Listen, it is rare for a fighter in whatever time. It is very rare that a fighter questions the normality or the normancy in boxing. They never do it. They just never say nothing. They just fight. That's all they do. They just shut up and fight. So the fact that Errol Spence Jr. could raise a question like this when so many other individuals have this same question, why are these sanctioning fees here? And how are you helping these fighters? Now, the head of the WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, he stated that he would reinforce communication with Errol Spence Jr. to ensure that he understands how the organization uses the funds. Now, Mauricio Sulaiman, he highlighted that the WBC has invested in medical studies to improve boxing safety. He said they also provide assistance to retired fighters and, of course, the amateur committee and, and how they carry out social work through the WBC Cares program, right? Now, I'm like, okay, Mauricio, I hear you. He also emphasized that the WBC is open to addressing Errol Spence Jr.'s questions and that boxers have the right to know how the money that these sanctioning bodies are fining or taxing these fighters. He said, look, these fighters, they got a right to know how this money is utilized. Now, sanctioning bodies in boxing, from my understanding, right, they aim to bring structure to the sport of boxing, but they often face heavy and harsh criticism for their rules, and it seems like their lack of accountability, especially over these years. They've been subjected to a lot of allegations of corruption and, investigations. Now, a lot of times these investigations, they lead to nothing, but it just is what it is. Now, Sulaiman also expressed that he believes that Spence's comments were not made out of spite. And he mentioned that he supports the WBC. You know what I'm saying? And he also said that he supported Errol Spence Jr. following the car accident in 2019. Now, like I said, Errol Spence Jr., he's only one of two fighters that has ever talked about these sanctioning body fees. All these other fighters, they don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, the only person that has said something about these fees and like, where do they go and what do you guys do with these fees and why are we taxed so much? is Hall of Fame retiree Andre SOG Ward, because he was openly expressing his grievances against sanctioning bodies in the past, right? And like I said, it's very rare that any boxer says anything about these sanctioning bodies. They don't say anything. They don't say nothing about these sanctioning body fees. Now, one of the things that I didn't like what Mauricio Sulaiman said, right? He said that, he's okay with Errol Spence Jr. defending the gold and green belt. And if he chooses not to defend the gold and green belt, then that's okay too. I don't like that. I see what Mauricio Sulaiman, you think you slick. Don't be talking slick to fighters. I see what you did right there. You know what I'm saying? I see what you did. Just like when Devin Haney was talking about, the Ring Magazine belt. Ring Magazine don't even have him on the top 10. He undisputed. And then he was like, look, man, I don't even represent the Ring Magazine belt. You know what I'm saying? If they don't show me love, then, why should I be showing them love? And then the Ring Magazine, well, just give me my belt back. Like, look, man, just because somebody does not agree with you and they say things that you don't like, don't mean that you just take your ball and go home. Well, if you don't like how we doing things, well, give me my belt back. Nah, that's not how it works, fool. You gotta explain what's going on. Explain what you do. I have never seen the WBC, the IBF, WB. I've never seen these guys do anything for fighters. I've never seen it. Now, maybe they do. Now, Mauricio Sulaiman, they said they got the WBC Cares where they're helping fighters and they're doing this, that, and the third. Well, we hardly ever see that. You got what I'm saying? Like, it's so many fighters who have health issues because, ain't no 401k for these fighters. These guys have health issues. These guys get hurt. They get brain damage. They get constantly concussed. And nobody says anything and nobody even cares about them. That's why I think these fighters just got to focus on themselves, get as much money as you can get, because the sport of boxing does not care about the boxers. They don't treat the boxers good, man. They just don't. It's thousands upon thousands of boxers right now that you know nothing about, because only 20 fighters are really promoted consistently that you know about. Trust me, I'm seeing these fighters all the time. You know what? I should start interviewing a lot of these professional fighters that you know nothing about, who got wins, undefeated records, 12-0, 13-0. You don't know nothing about them. And then we on social media, you calling boxers cab drivers. Well, a lot of times they got to drive Lyft or they got to do Uber or got to operate as a cab service, because guess what? Boxing is not paying them nothing. Boxing is it's a lonely, tough man sport, and nobody cares about the fighters. That's just how it is, man. So I really applaud and I salute Errol Spence for even bringing up the issue, because we living in a time where people don't stand for nothing. You got what I'm saying? I'm talking like they stand for nothing at all. They'll beef over the most nonsense things and then won't talk about things that really are important. Look, man, you got to stand for something in this life. And I really respect the fact that Errol Spence at least said something. You got what I'm saying? That's just my thoughts. You let me know what you think in the comment section. Look, stay on the grind. This is Power Grind Boxing, courtesy of Power Grind Sports. Peace.